5 seconds remaining. Dire Team's turn to ban.
Impossible.
Radiant Team's turn to ban. Dire Team ban.
Healthy eyes. Let's base it on that.
Faceless Void.
Faceless Void?
Healthy eyes.
Right, so he's playing mid Faceless Void? Is that what we're understanding? Okay, cool.
I thought Faceless would be the opposite end of that. He's got no eyes.
So you have to make up for it because the hero can't see.
I was like, okay.
Well, Sheepo, can you explain to me the first ban Dawnbreaker that we're seeing?
I actually was about to cry about that because Dawnbreaker is so
Radiant Team
like
ban.
one of my favorite heroes. Straight up, she's the best. I love her. And C, they like to play her, right? We saw Zephyr play her a lot at TI. They were like the main team picking her there, and like
MVP.
yeah, MVP. And it's just I don't know. I like this hero a lot. I think she like stomps her lane and gives global presence. And like I'm sad that it got taken out because I would like to see some games with Dawnbreaker. Hopefully we'll get to panel for some games with Dawnbreaker eventually. But whatever, they give Snapfire away.
You're a genius. Snapfire. I would have never guessed this.
I spent like 10 years like calculating for this moment.
Feels like everyone in Thailand learned to play this because the other team that didn't qualify, also the Thai team, Team MY, also first pick Snapfire every game. I know it's an SCA thing, but they've been doing it before it was a thing here. Like for the past 2 years, ever since they came out, they always play Snap.
Snap's great. I mean, you know when Talon were doing the open qualifier run, I was like watching because you know you're curious how like Fly's doing and see now. Every game they were just opening with Night Stalker and Snapfire, but Snapfire every game, Snapfire, and I was just like, this hero is a good one.
I think
I'm so excited about that.
There's no patches like next 3 weeks. I think Snapfire is gonna be the most picked ban hero crossover. It's just way better than every other hero.
Which was the case as well for the Season 2 of last DPC as well. They were up there with Centaur, most picked band here.
And TI was one of the most.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
can't remember what. Maybe it was.
Which is interesting because that major and the tournaments afterwards
5
didn't happen.
seconds remaining.
But during the season and TI, Snapfire.
Yeah.
By the way, it just seemed to me like they're very excited about Mars. We just saw Kimizu like screaming happiness and the most expressive face ever as they pick his Mars. And with Clock though.
There it is, the Wraith King.
Okay.
For Jackie, so I was wondering if Execration were going to study like the replays between Boom and Motivate Trust because obviously it's not been too long since that tournament, so Motivate Trust probably just going to keep playing the same strat because it worked. They had a really high win rate with it in Mineski Master. And I was wondering if they were going to kind of replicate Boom's bans or if they were going to like see if they had their own ideas. Because if you're letting through something like Wraith King, right, it's because you have a plan against it. So I don't think Clockwork is a particularly good hero to set up against Wraith King, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Maybe they just let this like...
Especially with like this double melee. Like I don't imagine Clock and Mars are lane together. I gotta imagine Clock is gonna be this 5 position that maybe they see it as a good answer to Snapfire. Obviously there's that ability to stop the Mortimer's kisses, scout out Snapfire, the backline. I wouldn't consider it like a hard counter set. I think Snapfire still gets to do everything you want in the game, even when there's a Clock.
Yeah, there's definitely potential that they're thinking of Clock for something else, right? Like, Clock is pretty decent at killing mid. Obviously, Motivate Trust will see this and they'll know this in their minds. So they might prepare a mid that's able to get away, like,
10 seconds
Clock,
remaining.
Queen of Pain, something like that could just escape from Hogs and not have to worry about being ganged. But, like, maybe that is Execration's, like, game plan here. They want something that can collapse on mid and make sure that they have a bad game there. Yeah.
I think both these teams will emphasize that mid. You know, in the interviews where Fearless got your boys talking about how he feels like he's going to match up mid, you know. He's like, you know, Bob's just scaring me. This guy could, I think I might lose to him. But then he's like, you know, I might be top 1 SC, I might be top 20. So both Motivate Trust feel like Jackie's early game is secured, or he can just fall back to the jungle. He's a Wraith, he's going to fall back in jungle. We're not going to see this guy for 25 minutes this game. That's the Motivate Trust way. They'll just play his
5 seconds remaining.
They're going to be playing more around that mid lane.
Yeah.
Right. So what are here now to complement the Wraith King? What are you looking for to really from up?
Why is he upside down?
Radiant Team's turn to Dire Team's turn.
Oh.
Grimstroke.
So if you want this Wraith King to really strong, I mean, first you need something that goes into a fight and like kind of lock people in place for Wraith King to get in, because the generic Wraith King build is arm lane to Dota.
I didn't know we had any players playing from Australia. Apparently he's relocated from DPC League.
I see you can you appropriate the first thing you see, immediately Australian.
We will accept him. He's one of us. We've got an Australian team here.
God damn it. You give the Australian one thing.
There's also talent, by the way. Let's not forget about Casey. Ember Spears.
Division 2, you know. We got Division 1 players now.
God, there's a draft happening.
And then picking the Marana combo together with this Wraith King, so you have something to create space for him. Actually, really easy combo to work with as well.
Yeah, Marana's... we don't see her very often, I feel like. And if we do, usually it's paired with something like a Mars, because the lane is like so good, like the spear into the arrow and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. They haven't picked their off lane right yet. Right? So we'll probably see something that can well with Marana in lane. Otherwise, she's able to just run mid, maybe throw some arrows. We don't see the mid matchup yet for Execration. They're going to get their chance now because they have second pick to like start countering things.
Radiant team ban.
The Marana's cool because they're probably expecting.
Dire
also,
team ban.
instead of sending Snap off lane against the clock, they pick a 4 that has an escape against the battery and clock.
Ah, right.
Yeah. To me, that's one of the big reasons why they picked the Marana. And then, of course, there's the rotate mid, Searing Chains, arrow combo. So, to me, it's a really good Marana.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, she's pretty good at stacking as well. This is a small side.
5 seconds
No, it's
remaining.
true actually, because Clock is a kill lane hero, right? That you pick him and ideally you're going to harass a bit, but if you have kill potential, that's the best advantage. And if you can either leave the Marana and go harass mid, or alternatively stack, that's a way to make use of that lane without winning it.
You still gotta be careful before you get level 2. Like, it's one of those lanes where it's like that rates level 2 to level 1. Just waste. You're gonna have arrow if Clock can pop you with.
Radiant team's
I'll
turn to
trade you
ban.
every time. Yeah. So for the last pick, we need something from Execration that will define their lineup, something that can beat the Wraith King. What picks are we looking for?
Before I saw Ember Spirit, I was thinking there was potential for a Naga Siren pick, because what I like a lot about that hero is that it makes Wraith King have to buy a Radiance, or in most cases they do end up buying a Radiance, right, to try and counter her. And I feel like that build is much weaker on Wraith King nowadays than the Armlet Deso, right? So you're kind of like slowing down the game a bit by forcing him to do that. But into Snap and Ember Spirit seems kind of rough, to be honest.
Right.
I'm not sure.
They're banning
5 seconds
Sanking Knife, so
remaining.
that to me suggests they're picking like someone, a character that doesn't want to get jumped up.
5 seconds remaining.
Squishier range type cores like the Drowse. Luna's perhaps something that stands out a bit to me. It's just solid, safe parry, farm stacks. Mars and Void just aren't going to scale as well. What are these heroes? Who are these heroes creating space for?
I would love to see Slardar from Motivate Trust here, by the way. Like, you're amping the physical damage from Ember and Wraith King. And you're like a melee initiator with a blink. Because most of them have been taken out. Sand King's gone, Centaur's gone, Legion's gone. I think, and Tide's gone, obviously. So there's not much left in the pool.
Yeah, that's true. That Slardar is decent. Slardar does suffer though if you happen to have a bad lane, however. Recovery is a bit tough sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about Marana is that she can
Radiant
drag
team's
waves kind of
turn to
easily.
pick.
That's
She's
true.
range.
Good tango instead. This is
I
the.
don't like that into Grim, but I understand the point of it.
I'm ready to sacrifice my offlane. This is what it is. Because Pango can always recover easily, so he's actually not a bad offlaner to lose with.
Yeah, but every
Choose
fight
your
is
hero.
okay. Luna. Okay, so my problem with Pango is that he's very squishy in lane, can be abused, and they had last pick carry, so his lane is going to suck, and he's playing into Grimstroke in team fights.
It feels like we saw in the last game. It just feels like that we need team fight. What offlaner? Hey, Tide's banned. Centaur was even banned. Like all these team fighters are banned. Okay, Pango's there. And Pango was so meta for like a year, couple of years that every offlaner knows how to play this hero. And I think playing the hero, it's a pretty fun hero to play.
It's true.
It's like we need team fight. Let's pick a Pango, but I think it's made these draws pretty even. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I think Execration have like kind of stronger lanes maybe, but I think Motivate Trust are better players, which can balance that.
Okay. So you don't think there's what is the plus points of Motivate Trust there?
I think Phyllis is gonna have a way to just take over the game on Ember, especially because his supports are gonna like enable him. They're gonna come on mid. They're gonna help him to try and get kills, right? I think if they just keep playing on him, then like they're gonna make the space for Wraith King to just farm, and then he can just
Alright, we'll see if Sheepo is right, and we'll see if the casters also agree. As we send it over to our favorite duo, it's gonna be MLP Dota and John Expired.
Thank you very much, Mr. Avo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into our second series of the night between Execration and Motivate Trust Gaming, and it is, of course, MLP Dota and John Expired. John, welcome back, sir. I'll ask you straight off the bat, before we do get into game one, have you had your merienda before you got into the second series?
Prepare for battle.
It's a 5-1-5 smoke already, John. As we got into this game number one, let's Motivate. They might be the first ones to actually find somebody here, as they have wrapped around through that Radiant jungle. A high ground, Ping's already out onto Carlo. Ward is going to spot him out. I'm sure you just kind of want to wait Carlo to walk over and maybe just get a little bit closer to Motivate. But now, though, they have all the information in the world to try and set up for a first blood attempt. See if Carlo does make the walk over to the right or whether he sticks by that tier 1 tower. Very, very scary times here for our Clockwork. Little does he know, though. Here, be the easiest arrow of his life, I think. He's going to go right through the fog, Carlo. Oh, he's got no idea. He'll cop the arrow. Jack is going to be there, and Gacha, he'll move in. It's going to be Carlo gone, and Jackie, he'll take the first blood of the game. You couldn't have really asked for a better start if you are Motivate Trust.
Yeah, it's a great pickup going the way of Jack boys. So Jackie's off to a good start. They managed to grab, well, they miss out on a bounty rune, so that's a bit of a bonus for Execration, but trading first blood, not a great feeling. We'll see if Execration will manage to bounce back from that, but Motivate Trust kind of, you know, going for a nice aggressive play does get paid off. Their mid ward might get dewarded because of that movement out, but for now it does look to be protected. And I think, again, you have to watch for the matchups, right? We heard Gotcha Boy talk about his matchup against Bob, and he respects Bob. You know, he knows Bob is a very, very explosive mid player, can be in form, and when he's in form, he can run down. But I think the initial levels for Gotcha Boy are going to be a bit easier. Now, Fearless on the Ember, we've seen him play this matchup multiple times. He knows how to balance the lane, and I think he should be able to at least get some even farm at the worst case scenario up against Bob.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got the chance. The Bob the Wreck is going to come out tonight. You never know with Bob. Say one of the Void Spirit is one of his better heroes to see, but I certainly agree with you that Gacha might just have that slight advantage on the Ember Spirit. Of course, down to the bot lane as well, you've got Q and Masaros that are against Carlo and Nando. The Luna Clockwork lane looks pretty safe to me. Highly doubt that Nando will cop too much harassment, as we do see the battery assault getting started here from Carlo. Anything to watch out for during this lane here for the bot lane, John?
I think it's really just leveled. So once Carlo has the cogs up, we've seen Luna Clockwork lanes actually play really aggressive. Unfortunately, both of the heroes on Motivate Trust are hard to lock in. They've got mobility on hand with Swash and the leap on Marana and Pango respectively. So I don't know if you can really gun for the kill opportunities. You can see Monstrous as well opted for level 1 Swash, does have a shield crash now. There's some aggression. They will try onto Carlo.
That they will. Arrow did connect the Lucent Beam by a bit of time then. Carlo is going to be able to make his way out, so no second death for him quite yet. I suppose while we still have a chance, we should have a look at the top lane, where you will see Boom Booey and Jackie, rather Jack Boys, against Kimizu and Vincenzo. This lane as well, John. I mean, you do have some decent kill potential here, it seems, from the side of Execration, but I could kind of say the exact same thing from Motivate. Multiple stuns here in this lane just feels like a very action-packed kind of top lane.
Yeah, there's definitely kill potential for both sides. I think for the side of Motivate Trust, they might be looking to play a bit more defensive, you know? Build up farm on Jackboards, get the levels up on the Raid King, set him up for success in the jungle, as we know what Motivate Trust likes to do.
Mid lane, Bob, he's going for the kill. Gacha Boy still trying to play around with the bottle charges. He's going to be able to survive through it. Bob looking to get very aggressive early on, but Gacha, he's the healthier hero now, so Bob, he'll have to be a little bit more careful.
have to watch room control. Both Spirit Brothers going to need that bottle refill. So far, no movements out from the supports, tied into the side lanes. That will even out, but we are seeing a slight lead here for Gotcha Boy. And Bob, not too far behind. Key thing is hitting level 6. Both sides will have good kill opportunities once that's up.
Sure. You look at the last hit sport though. I mean, Jackie's already just flying ahead as we kind of expect, and it kind of worries me as well for Execration, right? Like with the Wraith King, feels like you get a great start, you go into the jungle, you pop your skeletons, and you just flash farm so darn fast. I realize he's against the Luna, but it's not as an easy of a time as Nando right now is being chased down. Q and Masarosh is going to go all the way. Nando, he'll try to Fairy Fire up, but they should have the damage, and they will. Masarosh able to take that kill on the Pango. That's kind of what I was worried about, John. I don't think that Nando's going to have as easy of a time as Jackie's having right now.
It's all down to Carlo. You know, he needs to put his body forward, he needs to cut off. And up top, we are still seeing Jackie build up, although the stunts are coming in.
Gonna try and go onto Boom Bowie. X12 should barely land, and Kim is able to pick up a kill now as Jackie's trying to find a trade. It's unable to have the mana for the Wraithfire Blast though, so won't really be able to continue.
When you least expect it.
Let the Mars go. So a nice little pick up there from Execration. Not quite as worth as say picking up the Luna, but you take what you can get.
Just take what you can get, try to build up. I think for the most part, Motivate Trust is fine with that because Jackie is still not being pressured. As you said, Mike, once this Wraith King builds up, once the armlet's up, once he's got levels, he can play in the jungle, work towards the Desolator timing, work towards Blink. Once you have that combination, these heroes on Execration will just melt. Maybe not the Mars, but everyone else will be very susceptible to that damage.
Masaros now dropping quite low on the Pango, but it's going to be just fine to swash away. In the meantime, though, top lane, you do end up losing Kimizu in the end. Doombui's able to pick up that kill. You have a lot of kill potential with all these stuns at the top lane, so you do have to be very wary of that. We have seen Motivate. Considering this is the safe lane of theirs, they have been quite aggressive.
We've seen this a couple of times from Motivate Trust. You know, they go off to a really fast start. Sometimes it tumbles down after. We'll see if it maintains. Are seeing some aggression mid. Gotcha Boy again. Already going for the 1-1 build. So he does have the control to lock in Bob. Until that level 6 is up for Bob, it's going to be a bit scary. He does have the slight EXP lead, so that 6 shouldn't be too far off.
Does it concern you, Jonathan, that we're going to have to be calling Fearless Gotcha Boy the whole year?
He requested for it, you know? He wanted this, so he'll get it.
Very concerning stuff here for Fearless. Or Gotcha Boy. I wonder what kind of games he's been playing with that kind of name, John. Be very careful with those kind of games. It's a pretty big money pit, I'll tell you.
It is. He doesn't play Gotcha games. I have invited him to join me in Gotcha Hell. But he's just having bad luck in his ranked matches, I think. So we'll see if that holds up, if Gotcha Boy starts to improve his luck. Again, it's been looking good for Motivate Trust so far. Execration and laning phase looking like they're applying pressure mid here, Mike. A lot of heroes down here.
We're going to try, Bob, to step in. You do have the silence, but a quick remnant away back towards the north. Gotcha hoping for a power rune at the 6-minute mark, but doesn't quite get one. So he's down bot. Bob will go ahead and pick that up. That's luck there for the side of Execration. Is now top lane, Kimizu. Getting chased down there, but they were unable to stun him up. And though you are still buying so much space for Jackie, and the freest time of his life right now on this Wraith King. I'd say everything's just going swimmingly here for Motivate. No pressure.
And they're finding everything they want, even though, you know, they find a couple of kills as well. Maybe the pressure on Nando is slightly relieved by now. The good news for Execration is that the Luna can platform quite fast, but they haven't really built up the jungle as much. There is a single stack on the large camp in the triangle. Gonna need a little bit more for the Luna to flash farm down the line, and we have to be careful about controlling. If Motivate Trust manages to scout out some of those stacks, it's gonna be really easy for Jack Boys or even Gotcha Boy to just run in and clear out. So I think for Execration, there is a bounce back mechanic, even though the lanes aren't going so well, but they need to maintain map control to get that happening.
They do. I asked you about Gotcha Boy, John. Did Jackie want the name change?
I guess so. I think he was just riding off the back of Fearless, honestly. He was just like, all right, he's Gotcha Boy, I'm Jack Boys now. You know, and he's sticking to it. I mean, it's still Jackie. At the least, some of his name is still there. Not like Fearless. He was just entirely a different person, a different man now. He's no longer Fearless. He's just playing. Okay, he's scared of the dice roll. See, for a guy whose name's Fearless, you can't be scared of the dice roll, Mike. You can't.
He might need to be scared right now, John. There's a big rotation coming in here from Execration. 3 heroes in that mid lane, but he's read the movement. But now he's fine, but Carlo, he's just going to force the Remnant away. No big deal. Pretty hard to catch the Ember as it is, and boy, he'll be just fine. He'll make his way back in now, knowing Q is around to try and help out. He'll land an arrow onto the clockwork, but the ink swallow is going to be there. Still a nice Remnant dodge is there from Gacha. Carlo, however, he's fine. Barely gets out with his life intact. Had the stick charges anyway. They've always been fine.
Radiant's bottom tower's got problems.
Either side able to find a kill in this mid lane, though. If I do say so myself, John, I feel like this is a classic motivate play. Kind of run the distraction in the other lanes and just leave their carriages just free farmers. Well, Boom Bowie now has been caught out. He'll get a cookie off, but it's not going to be quite enough. Kimizu able to pick up his own kill on the Mars.
Nice, easy pickup. Good ward placement there from Execration to watch. They might sacrifice in return, though. Gotcha boy looking to play forward.
Bob's going to try and help out. 8th Remnant's there. Nice spear out from Kimizu. He'll make his way back in, but the Remnant is there. Fearless will be just fine. Meantime, bot lane Carlo just almost dropping on the clockwork. In fact, I say almost. He came back in after Masaros, and Masaros, he can't quite believe his eyes. It's a nice free kill here on the clock if they can get the arrow. They won't quite though. In fact, Vince now, he's rotated, but Massa, he'll go for the Rolling Thunder. Back and forth, but they've got more TPs coming in. Bob now on the Voice Spirit should be able to get something done for his team, but not before they lose Carlo. In fact, Bob, 8th Remnant, it's going to be there in the end. They'll find the Pango, and they'll secure the kill.
There is nothing.
Q unable to help out. Was trying to kill off Vincenzo, but unable to finish it off though. Gacha has rotated now, and we'll be able to secure the kill with the Sleight of Fist. But he might even try to go after Bob, who's completely out of mana. Chains are going to land. Q will be able to get the arrow off. Bob is going to try and find a way out. Gacha though, how far do you want to chase? Ash will step back towards the right side, but it's not going to be enough to back to Mizu. He'll try to get the arena, but the leap away is there from Q. Still, Spear does land, but he gets nothing for his trouble.
Yeah, it's a pretty big commitment out from Execration to try and recover that bot fight. It's been long enough that Masaros is back. Rolling Thunder still a few seconds off, but they can stabilize lanes. And as you pointed out earlier, Mike, this is buying a ton of space out for Jackie up top. And Jackboy's just working the jungle, Armlet flying out, has the maxed out level on Vampiric Spirit, so he's got the skeletons to clear out the camps as well really fast. And that build-up for Jackie is all you really want here for Motivate Trust. And you and I had a bit of conversation behind the scenes, right? Like we were saying, for Execration to win out, they've got to shut down Jackie. This is the guy that sets up for Motivate Trust every single time. He just always manages to find farm. And it looks like in this game, Jackboys is set to do that. Just left alone top, left to build up. And I think Execration has to be a bit worried. Sure, you're getting some farm on Nando, he's got the triangle. But that rating is still going to be a massive issue if you don't keep him in check.
Yeah. Doesn't help either that the Gacha boys had a great game so far. Second in net worth, and we've seen this before. Like, you want to create this space for Jackie. When Fearless is having a good game on the Ember, it'd be very, very hard to slow either down. As now Execration, they're going to head down bot. They've already lost that tier 1 bot tower, but maybe they can secure a kill. Who is not the target they want. They want Masaros at the least. Massa, he will show up on the creep wave again. The hook shot is off the mark, but it won't matter. They still have the ink swell, they still have the spear. And in the end, they still have the kill. Execration, they eventually get what they came for.
It's a pretty big kill onto the off lane. It still doesn't quite shut down what Motivate wants, and look at this.
You don't want to lose Nando like this though. Nando not quite expecting the rotation out with the Moonlight Shadow, and he ends up paying for it. Jackie able to take the killers now. Bob was caught out by the chains.
Radiant's top tower
What he can get done on this Void Spirit, but he's got no help around him. So even if he catches one, it just means nothing.
They just can't play around it. I mean, they still have that Ink Swell initiation with the leap in, for the Astral Step. But I think your issue right now is item timing. So you have a 4K lead here in Motivate Trust, Mike. You've got this early spike on your Ember where you've got Phase Boots, Orb of Corrosion, and the Javelin. His right-click damage is through the roof. So you can just burst these heroes down really fast, and you see Motivate Trust, they're playing around that, just clumping up mid.
We go, Bob, gonna be targeted, but the chains are off the mark. Still, you've got the Rolling Thunder to back him up. Bob He's going to be just fine. Then they'll go after Kamizu on that Mars. With the problem is he just cannot sustain himself. Bondo and Carlo, they're going to try and fight back. But can they get it done? Where's your damage output? It's getting there, but Bob's lost his own life in the process as Gacha. He'll survive throughout all this, and Vince, well, he'll be the third target. Make that fourth. Motivate Trust making it look so easy here in this game one thus far. It's Execration, they are yet to find their footing.
Yeah, Execration are trying to play the farm war here, Mike, where they let Nando eat as much space as he can, build up on that Luna. Nando isn't too far behind from Gotcha Boy, but the gap with Jack Boys is way bigger. And again, that early spike on Ember. We always talk about it with a Void Spirit matchup where Void Spirit goes brown boots, double ults, it's not nothing. Bob!
Oh, I know, we didn't catch that one, John, on camera, but Bob, he TP'd in within vision, and Q just had the easiest arrow set up of his life.
Where did Radiant's middle
Very
tower
aggressive TP there from Bob. Not sure what he was thinking, John. Was he got the tips out from Motivate?
Yeah, it looks like Bob is in builder mode right now. Not quite the record yet. We'll see if he does manage to recover. Aggression get Nando. Ooh.
Yeah. Another nice chains out into the arrow, and just even the arrow and chains took over half his HP.
Yeah. It's a super vulnerable target right now, that Luna, and they need to keep protecting Nando. He does have the Dragon Lance up, going straight to the Manta for some protection on hand. But you can see Motivate Trust just shutting on this area near mid. They just keep going.
So much damage from Motivate. We say this all the time. Jackie's just farming. 8.2k net worth now. 2.2k ahead of the Luna. Nando just unable to keep up, and you can't quite blame Nando. I mean, he's out of space already. His triangle's kind of preoccupied right now by his other teammates. He can't really farm the Radiant jungle either. And in the meantime, Motivate, they are just still running down Execration heroes as they found Carlo. It's not the biggest kill in the world, but it's a very easy one. The cogs are there, chains out, arrow connects, and it's all she really wrote. Carlo just can't survive through it. Might go for more.
bottom tower is under attack.
He's feeling confident. Bob, he'll back off immediately. Understanding he cannot go for this fight right now. K net worth behind. So they trust at 15 minutes in. It looks like they're actually going to try for a Roshan play.
Yep, they've got the item spike here, Mike. Desolator up on Jack Boys. Gotcha Boy with a right click as well. Not going to take too long, especially with the Lilith Shredder minus armor and the medallion up. Roche is too much stuff. So nice Aegis coming out for Gotcha Boy. He's going to be secure up front. And with the Desolator up on Jack Boys, he's free to join these fights. He's got a lot of damage on hand. Those supports, as we talked about, pretty much everyone's maybe two-shottable except the Mars, and that's going to be a major issue here for the side of Execration.
I mean, I'll tell you what, this game one feels like the game one from last series so far. The Motivate just so aggressive as T1 was in the previous series. Bob and Vince, Carlo, they're all together right now, but they're going to need to help out their Mars, who has been caught out and does get arrowed. Nice easy kill there. Onto Kamizu. In the meantime, though, Execration trying to make the play onto Massaros, but he's juked out the 8th Arena, but no, he walks right back into it. He's still alive, though. Massa going to try and fight. Rolling Thunder is available, but he can't get it off with the clockwork. Instead, they'll go after Vincenzo. They might just have a Grimstroke for their trouble.
Fools.
I suppose right now for Execration, any kill they can get is going to be worth. Bob is currently staring down Q. They'll go for a hook shot, they'll find a Mirana. They'll take another for
Dire's
themselves.
middle tower isn't going to last long.
Good set of kills, especially the kill not choice. You are getting a little bit of gold flowing your way. It's just not enough to compensate for the momentum that Execration's losing by, delaying out the Mars timings, kind of stalling out your Void Spirit timings. There is a little bit more for Bob to play with here, Mike. He's got the Eul's. You can go for the Eul's Remnant setup, and they have the Blink up in Kimizu. So they can actually look to be aggressive, and it looks like Execration might be looking for that opportunity. They've got the smoke up here in Vincenzo, so they will go for that play.
They will, but in the meantime, they've got Gotcha, but no, they don't.
Huh?
Yeah, the spear was just directly south.
Structures.
No objective to really just land the spear on.
Radiant's bottom tower is got
That's just so strange. They had Arena up. Kimizu could have
bottom tower is
dropped the Arena,
no
go
more.
for the spear.
They're
They lose their
beating on
bot Q2
Dire's
because of that
top
move, and now Motivate Trust. Moonlight up, they're gonna go.
Yeah, chains out. No follow-up though with the arrow. He will just hold out for
Dire's
now.
top tower is under attack.
Creation They can't really afford to make mistakes like that, not when they're this far behind. Bob, still being chased down here by Garcha, but Slider will not land. They don't seem to care though, they're on the tier 2 mid tower already.
Radiant's middle tower.
You do have the death up on Jackie, so you can certainly get this done if you really want. I think they're just so confident with their ability to fight with this Aegis up on dealers. I mean, why the hell not just go for a mid tier 2 tower? And it's on.
Just like that, the damage from Jack Boys is a bit too high. They know they can't really fight into it. I feel like they have pretty good counter fight here on Execration. They've got Arena, they've got Hookshot, they've got the Eclipse ready to go on Nando, but I think they're just worried about that. I think defense, like there's so much more that Motivate Trust has under Heroes to overcome the damage output. And that's going to grow even worse once the BKB starts flying, so that's something you have to watch out for.
They at least found good Bowie here on the Snapfire, so it'll be a nice little support pick up at the Rolling Thunder. Masaros wants to try and fight, or at least set up, as he does go in onto Timizu. Got the Mars locked down. In the meantime, Jackie, he just burns down the Grimstroke. So you lose the Snapfire, but you found the offlane Mars and the support Grimstroke on top. I mean, you've got to be happy with that as Motivate. In fact, Nando now, been chased by Garcha Boy. Chains, not going to be used up yet, but he has the superior movement speed, it seems, as he just continues to chase him down. But Nando's going to BKB TP out towards the west, however, or rather the east. They do find Carlo. They've got another support kill on Motivate Trust. Execration, they are just getting nothing for their trouble.
Just not finding the trades they want to. They're not finding the pickoffs as well, and they're the team with the Clockwork and Void Spirit. You have that long-range reach to kind of pick off someone, but Motivate Trust has been leveraging that Ember Spirit along with him around Arrow quite well throughout the entire game. And Execration is just stuck in a really tough spot. They can't control the triangle, their bot jungle is very exposed as well. Nando is still trying to farm up. Number 2 in that fort, but the gap between him and Jack is just way too big to play against.
And it is. If you look at this, I mean, top tier 2 is being taken. They almost ignored the top tier 2 and they just kind of rushed towards the mid lane. They saw somebody there. They'll go back to tier 2 tower, however, and we're gonna hate to say it, but that was the last out of tower for Execration. That's all they had. In fact, they're going high ground. Motivate's not done yet.
20 minutes. Like a free 20-minute push. They've got the power, they've got the damage coming through. They don't even have the BKBs, they don't need them here.
Oh, look at this. Vincenzo, he gets sniped from a mile away. He'll be forced to buy back. They'll try out to Jackie, at least get the first life, but he is still alive. Back now, Masaros. He's in with a wrong crit out from Jackie. Just one hit bomb. And Jackie, throughout all of this, he still has the reincarnation life. He just armor toggles through it. How do you defend this?
Under attack.
You got to get a really good arena and use of the Eclipse. And you've got that BKB running on Mondo, but he has to be ready to jump in to back up the Mars. I don't think you can fight for the top. Maybe you can fight for a different lane, but that's already a big advantage for Motivate Trust, and they can just reset. The Aegis does expire here on Gotcha Boy, so you don't have that secondary life on the Ember. That would cause them to maybe play a bit more defensively. They're almost reaching those BKB timings we talked about, though, Mike.
Yes.
Gotcha Boy. Jack Boys is flying his out. Gotcha Boy not too far off as well with the gold he has banked up, so maybe they just wait for the BKBs and go again.
I mean, why the hell not? I just don't see any reason to sit back and relax if you Motivate. Being said, you might just want to wait for the next Roshan before you really go high ground a second time, but I mean, by that point, the game might just be as good as the one. You look at the net worth of Nando, and while he is still somewhat keeping up with Jackie, it's just nowhere near. Now Arrow is going to land again onto the Clockwork. Can they actually finish him off though? Well, Nando's going to commit his own BKB. Garcha, meanwhile, he's been silenced up, but he'll use through it. There's your Eclipse out. They really just want the Ember. They'll be able to get that, but here comes Jackie with the right click. He's already got Vincent onto another. He'll try for the Mars, and the damage output just insane here. In fact, never mind him. They'll go after Nando instead. He's still going to try and fight, but he can't really do much by himself. It's just him and Kimizu against the world. Never mind that Aegis, John. Motivate, they're going for another 3 tower.
No, all the big stuff.
One of his kisses up, they'll force a buyback out from Kimizu. Jackie, he'll lose his first life, but what the hell does it matter? He's got his BKB up so they can not spear him back. And they'll just leave. No problems here for Motivate. There's Bob trying to fight something. You get nothing. Motivate, they'll be safe.
They don't manage to find the mid tower or the mid racks, but they manage to force an early buyback. They come back in. BKB is now up on Gotcha Boy as well, Mike. So Jack Boys and Gotcha Boy with the BKBs going to be very secure up front. It's going to be harder to pin down that Ember. It's still a good kill to find, you know, and that is some good bounce back hold for Execration, but not enough to swing this game one way back for them yet. So still going to have to be a bit patient in how they play here for Execration's side. Find farm while they can, and maybe once you have Eclipse back up, you could go for another play.
Gotcha. Looking at Bob. Kane's around. Boomboy's going to be there with a cookie, but you may not even need it if you got the arrow. Yules, though, is going to buy Bob a bit of time. We'll use both step charges to just try and get out. He will make it. A little escape there from the Void Spirit. But right now, you've just got to hold on to every life you can as Motivate. They are looking to go high ground. In fact, Gotcha, he's not done yet. He spotted out Carlo. Feigns it there, but no. Can actually land. What matter though, because Jackie, he's got so much damage. Just one stun will do it for him, and they might go high ground again, honestly. Force him on the buyback if you can. The chain's out. You got the arrow with the Yule Scepter, but now Matsuros is in with the Rolling Thunder and the follow-up start. Bob's gone for 50. Commit a buyback, and he might just have to. Once Carlo's back up and available. Even with Pop, though, again, I just don't know how you defend. And in fact, Nando, he's been forced to BKB. This is not what you want if you're Execration. Just playing right for you. Now they move in. Gotcha, he knows the BKBs aren't up. He'll go right after Vincenzo. It'll get the kill on the Grimstroke. Bob, he's going to try one last bit of the buyback onto Q, but Gotcha already taking down half his HP. And there you go, he's already gone. Bob gets the tip immediately up from Gotcha Boys. Jackie, he's not done yet. He'll lose his first life with the Eclipse. What does it matter? He's got a second. He's happy to keep the team fight going. Well, he can try to hold the shield up, but it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing as Nando now will be the next victim of Motivate Trust. And all they can do is laugh. The GG's been called. Motivate Trust taking this game one in less than 25 minutes. Real domination.
Yeah, I mean, Motivate Trust, they've been on a hot streak since the Masters. We saw Execration there as well. They didn't have the best run. They've had that little bit of a roster shakeup. You know, they're still trying to integrate Kimizu, and I think they've still got to work those issues out. Motivate Trust.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban, Dire team's turn to ban. Seconds Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Maybe they don't have an
10
answer
seconds
in their hero
remaining.
pools for like something like Weaver, because a lot of people like pick Rubik against it. or
5
something
seconds
very
remaining.
nice
Dire
matchup.
team's turn to
But
pick.
in their heads they're deciding, do we want to play against Snapfire or do we want to play against Wraith King? They've decided they don't want to play against Snapfire, right? So now, you know, in their heads they're like, okay, they're probably going to 4-pick Wraith King. So now our next 2 picks have to address it. You know, or again, it's just not a good match.
Good. I like that idea. So what picks would it? If that's
10 seconds
Wraith
left.
yourself.
Decided?
It's a good question. I don't think anyone's like
5
first rated
seconds
some
remaining.
PLs or anything. But, obviously, maybe the.
Who could turn
I don't
away
think you
from
want to be
this
picking
battle?
something like Razor here, because obviously then they just change up their direction. It's kind
Great,
of like if
you're
you go
back.
too hard into like Wraith King counter, then they're just not gonna pick Wraith King.
Right.
And like we've seen before, they could just pick Medusa. So if you go to a Wraith King, they might just Medusa, and then you're just
Dire
So,
team's
so don't
turn
tell me
to
to pick that,
Radiant
you know,
team's
a
turn
style or like an idea.
something, just a strong opening, strong lane, something that can. What are you doing, bro? Dude. Okay.
This is the opener you were looking for, wasn't it?
I'm done.
I heard you saying you love clock.
Radiant team's turn to ban.
Oh.
It was the only good thing about game 1.
Dude, like, I don't understand. Did they look nothing, man?
I also
Dire
love because
team's
God's
turn to
the whole last panel. He's like, oh, they picked Clark because of the Snapfire. That was definitely the reason. All of a sudden, they're proving everyone wrong.
I delete the tape. That never happened.
Okay, guys. All right, let's think about it this way. You know, Execration, they're in Division 1. And we're not. We're on the couch. We're
seconds
idiots. So
remaining.
these guys have an idea. Maybe Clockwork is just their super comfort.
You know,
5
we're
seconds
idiots,
remaining.
but I want to hear from you idiots what this Clockwork means. I want to know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm thinking. All right, Clockwork. They're playing for the vision game. You're the flare. Whoa, they're gonna scout for Wraith King in the jungle and kill him. This is 10,000 IQ Giga Brain plays right here.
Okay, not that crazy to say that.
Huh?
Are there any? Maybe they ban Miranda. Or is that a good again? Like get away from Clockwork like Miranda does? 'Cause that was a big issue. That Miranda.
I agree.
The Clockwork could literally not harass, and as Miranda would occasionally hit an arrow, and they just get a bunch of damage out, and there's no damage.
That's actually not a bad idea. I can't. I'm thinking now. Fours.
Well, so there's a few things they can do. Maybe there's just kind of off meta, but like Tusk doesn't care much.
True.
Because he can like
Radiant
snowball out or
team
like
ban.
use the
Dire
shards
team
to
ban.
push himself out. There's also like
Willow.
Radiant team's
Still
turn to
chase
ban.
down through
Dire
the-
team's turn to ban.
I think as well, Clock is not
good
that
grapple.
great of it. I mean, you can just hit the cogs, right? If he
Right,
cogs, just,
Okay,
just
fair
hit
enough,
it
fair enough.
twice and then walk out.
Yeah.
I think it's more. I think the way they played last time. Yeah, they had heroes that can get out of cogs, right? But more
10
importantly,
seconds
they had
remaining.
2 heroes that like to sit on the lane and fight together in the creeps,
5
right? And
seconds
Clock
remaining.
doesn't want to do that, you know? You
Sure.
you want to take your Clock, you want him to fight against the support on the side of the lane, and he's going to win that trade because of how his spells work, right? So when you pick Clock this early, not only is it bad matchup into Wraith King, but they're also just going to pick heroes for the lane that don't mind fighting into it.
At the same time, I feel like they have an idea of how this Clockwork hero works. That maybe we're just on safe bit.
Yeah.
I'd much rather Clockwork picked in the first phase than in the last phase.
Yes.
If you're gonna pick Clock, you may as well pick it early. Like it's not like a bad hero. I don't think
That's
it's a hero that has its pros and cons.
Mhm.
Like I think we could very easily, you know, if they were on the other side, you know, playing a line or something. They could very much make a line look bad. It's really just going to come down to how they execute lane, what they pair it with, and making sure that maybe they're not playing it.
Dire team's turn to pick. Radiant team's
have
turn
to.
to pick.
Mirana's once again in the pool. That means they have to flex the Lion 5 though.
Okay. That was just so perfect because it was so good against the lane and also had the Soon to the Ember. This time around, the Ember's on the other side. So here's to see if, like,
10 seconds remaining.
I think what I like about Clockwork is
5 seconds remaining.
as long as they pick a carry that doesn't just die instantly as soon as he leaves, right? Then it is a hero that fights, and they have Ember Spirit instead of the Void
Radiant
Spirit this
team's turn
time.
to pick.
It's a hero that loves to fight. Clockwork, him have the ability to go with the hook shot. Like even for Pain, Clock enables kill threat on her. If you land the hook shot, you push her back with Cog. She gets changed by Ember. That should be enough damage to take her down. Hopefully.
Yep. You
10
do have kill
seconds
potential
remaining.
this time. However, obviously Motivate Trust. Since they already have the core of their draft being Wraith King,
5
they just went and
seconds
countered that
remaining.
lane. Or that's the attempt.
Yeah, I think we'll see a similar strat to last time where they just make sure they're able to fight as well as they can on the other heroes while Jackie just farms up and becomes that win condition.
Sure. What other support are you looking to enable this then?
They could probably pick
Dire
something
team's turn to
tanky
pick.
that doesn't die Clock, Ogre, or Earth. Ooh, that's a hero.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of Earth Spirit players out there that just have it as their most played hero on, you know, in competitive, and then just haven't played it for months. Not seen as that good anymore. So I'm actually really hyped to see it this
10
game.
seconds
Does this
remaining.
mean Lion 5, which actually Motivate does a lot as well. They don't have any
5
problems with
seconds
flexing.
remaining.
And they also they've always played a lot of the Earth Spirit. So that's kind of a big cue. I do feel like Execration will feel okay about this because like they've got a much better game for the Clockwork and turn game in the lane. Have that kind of game. And then you feel like you can do something rather than just walking
Radiant
around.
team ban.
Okay, interesting. It's a good Wraith King answer.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're looking at this and you're like, okay, they've got burst damage, so it's not like this is a Timber Soul game, so offline they can't come in.
10 seconds remaining.
But as far as the lane goes, that kind of second or
5 seconds remaining.
have a
I think the best part about this pick is that it can be left alone, which means that Grimstroke and Clock can really commit themselves to helping Ember Spirit's game.
and it's Ember versus Swap, so this is one of those mid-matches where and there's a lot of pressure on the Ember, but there's so much focus.
Yep. And on the Timber side, 5, not the best late counter to you, and Lion not being able to get an early blink or whatever means less disables for you. Actually, a lot of it, they're taking advantage this time of the weaknesses in the Motivate Trust draft, something we didn't see last time. So I'm liking this better.
Yeah, I believe with Hood, Timbersaw should just be able to free. Like, I don't think there's enough burst damage from Lion and Earth Spirit to threaten him. You're gonna have to bring Queen of Pain
Dire
up.
team ban.
They have another pick, which could bring out the damage needed to kill Timbersaw. But right now,
Radiant
it
team's
looks like
turn to
Timber's gonna
ban.
be really happy top, and I think a lot of his focus is gonna be on all the other lanes.
Right. Last time we talked about that Luna was a bit lackluster, all things considered. What would you like to see? Are you concentrating on the lane, whatever Motivate Trust picks, or are you looking for the core matchup once you?
Luna
10
was
seconds
okay
remaining.
last time. The only problem was just that Clock felt like a very weak 5 with her.
5 seconds remaining.
It's hard to find a carry that's going to be able to 1v2 per se, because yes, Earth Spirit is a roamer, he might lead the mid, especially towards later runes, but I feel like in the recent years, the trend has been more that Earth Spirit stays in the lane, because roaming's just not as effective as it used.
Yep.
So, if Clock goes to pull, we have the same-ish issue as last time. You went with Pango onto Luna, Mirana went on as well. This time, same thing. Earth Spirit's just going to roll on your carry. It needs to be someone that doesn't mind that happening. Maybe a Life Stealer, I'm not sure. Could be okay.
Dire team's turn to ban.
You're always a threat. I feel like there's just a lot of build potential on Motivate Trust in general. It's just
Oh my god, I'm still right here actually.
Yeah, and I think that's a similar idea to the ban. I was looking at maybe what was the other
Radiant
option?
team's turn to pick. Dire team's turn
Not
to
really
pick.
sure how good Roll is or what they see. Where Arcseer, so that's a hero that can put a lot of pressure onto quite a number of Execration. Consider a few different options, but they only have 20 seconds here to decide.
do you think they would morphling into this, or is it banned?
10 seconds remaining.
It's there.
Choose your
Selected it.
hero.
Well done.
Good with that.
And something interesting about Darkseer, that last time you mentioned it because of Ember, they couldn't pick PL or the Illusion heroes. So this Darkseer is that person that does that, that makes it so that you're not really considering it, plus obviously the other heroes in the team that already make it less great. So, pretty draft, I'd say, by Execration. I didn't actually fix a lot of their mistakes from last
I'm
time.
pretty happy with Execration. I don't think Lifestealer is going to die when Clockwork is doing his thing. Timbersaw is just going to be self-sustaining. I like it a lot. I like what they're doing with Motivate Trust too. Enabling Wraith King with Darkseer. 4 heroes.
So I think they can kill him at those kind of level 3 to 5 stages.
Yep.
When you look at Earth Spirit with like a Wraith King Stun, Earth Spirit roll, and a Lion, like to me they're damage there. Before that Hood comes out, he can make in the safe lane as well as the mid lane, of course. So I could see him having a pretty big impact because he's just going to look at his opponent and be like, I can't really do a whole lot. I'll pull some. It's a Dark City. You're going to pull some waves, Dark System levels, and then just. I look at use Earth Spirit to kind of be the one carry the.
So this time we actually see relatively equal drafts. Mitigate some of the issues from last time, but it still comes down to execution. Last time Motivate Trust looked at executed a little bit better, but we're gonna have to see what happens in the actual game. And to narrate this wonderful experience, it's MLP Dota and John X.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are into game number 2 between Execration and, of course, Motivate Trust Gaming. And John, you heard the panel. The panel was saying they like the draft except the Execration this time around. They think it's a bit more even. You seem to have a few choice words in the background. Jonathan, do you want to talk to us about it?
I think Motivate Trust had a better draft. I don't know. You and I were having a talk about the clockwork. I think we'll raise a good point as well. I don't know what you hope to really do too much. I do think it does kind of make that clockwork make a bit more sense. You've got the infest plays with the hook shot down line. You can be aggressive. You have a lot of mobility with the Timbersaw and Ember to back you up. So you can look to dive early and kind of be aggressive. You have to really see that from Execration. I think when it comes down to lanes, you've still got Dark Seer plus Earth Spirit lane for Masa and Q. So it's the roll up, it's the Iron Shells on top of someone chasing them down. Once you hit level 3 for Masa, you're just going to be able to melt through the Lifestealer. The lane matchup for Lifestealer is not amazing. You're sure you might have Rage. That's a long cooldown to commit. It's 18 seconds across each level. You tend to kind of skip it for your first 3-4 levels anyway. I think most Lifestealers, if they can, just don't level up at all until after laning phase. So it's still not going to be an amazing time for Nando, and I think that's a point of concern. Like, you do want to be aggressive when you have this many infest targets. That means your armlet's going to have to be up on time, and you have to be ready to get running ASAP after laning.
100% agree with that. I mean, Execution after that first game, of course, probably coming back a lot stronger, a lot more determined to try and force us to a game number 3 against Motivate Trust. We do have a 2-2 trade in the boundary room, so a very even start between these two teams. Alright. We may as well talk about the bot lane, where you are going to see Boo running his way down on the Lion. But he's going to be there with Jack Boys on the Wraith King once again. Carlo on the Clockwork, and do have Kimizu on that Timber. I think the interesting point to raise as well, I think it was Sheepo who kind of pointed out that they've given Wraith King over to Jackie again. Do you agree with that? But even I was kind of like, well, are they really going to give Jackie?
Yeah, I don't know, even though the lane matchup for Kimizu is a little bit better, you can punish with Whirling Death and hold your lane and kind of solo that lane quite nicely once you're level 4. It's still not amazing. I think that's still going to be concerning for Execution. I think Jack Boys is still going to be confident in the matchup, and you're still going to be able to build up just fine.
Yeah. I'm seeing a bit of a pull over here by Carlo. Bit of a cheeky block on the camp that was just playing the acting game. We are looking at a bit of harassment top lane as well. You've got Vincenzo and Q going at it on the Earth Spirit and Grimstroke. It's Masfos just trying to secure his levels right now, but he'll come over and give the Iron Shell over to Q. This is another thing we kind of briefly mentioned in the back. This combination of Earth Spirit darts, it's quite disgusting. Especially once you have that level 3 mark on Masaros. Things do tend to get a lot scarier here if you are Execration.
That's when you can really build up, you can really get aggressive. That's a roll on top of Execration, force out Nando. Again, for Lifestealer, you do have some sustain with your Feast, and you can kind of fight back with Ghoul Friends, but you can't overcome that early damage, and I think that's something you'll always have to watch out for. We're already seeing Mata off a really good start here.
On Vincenzo they go, vacuum back, but it's going to very far and be fine. It's not Nando chasing down Q, but won't go all the way. Bit to get back to the creep wave anyways. He has plenty of creeps coming into his tier 1 tower. It's another one of those strengths about the Dark Series, able to push waves constantly into the tier 1s. Gotcha Boy mid lane jump, very, very low on HP. Kind of needs a rune for himself. Also needs his bottle on. He's gonna get rolled on here by Q, and it looks like Bob's in trouble now. They've got the Shadow Strike there, and Bob will be the first slot. Gotcha Boy, he'll take it, and We've seen Q on this first before, John. He does tend to rotate fairly early on. But then you see it happening.
That's the beauty of that Earth Spirit.
Someone better help Dire
Pick up
power.
for motivate. They can get aggressive early. They can leverage the early damage Gotcha Boy has. He has opted to go for Shadow Strike and Student Pain, no value points in Blink. It's a bit harder for him to contest Doom, but you get the damage, you can get rolling. And all the lanes now for Motivate Trust are looking great. In fact, Mizu has to be a bit cautious. He has the damage with the level 2 reactive, but there's a lot of damage coming through from Boom Boy and Jack Boys with a double stun lineup again. I think when he went into the draft, he might set maybe the Grimstroke off lane of Kimizu, so you could maybe play with Whirling Death and Chain and try to be aggressive that way. But we're seeing the issue again for Carlo. Like, he's on the clock, he's got level 2, he's not really able to do too much to contribute there.
Certainly, he does not do anything.
wild.
Kind of running around in circles, wondering what he can get done. No real lanes for him to gank up right now, apart from maybe the top lane, but even that's quite difficult against the Darkseer Earth. Mid lane Gacha, he's always going to have to blink up. Bob doesn't even have any levels and chains right now on the Ember. You don't have a great way of locking down the quad. Down the bot lane on the Boom Bowie. A nice Earthquake though from our line will allow him to get out scot-free. In the meantime, you end up losing Vincenzo. Massa, he's quite low, but Nando can't keep up the chase. He has to let the Darkseer go. And I thought maybe we'd see a rotation from the mid lane. That's not happening either. Bob's sticking around, trying to secure his own FP up.
Oh, no.
And top lane, they have made the jump in. And I mean, at one point he's the aggressor, the next minute he's the victim here for Motivate. Very, very bad news so far for Execration.
It's just that spike. Like level 4 on Masa, level 4 on Q. They can just leverage the Iron Shell, jump right in. The mobility on your Earth Spirit allows the gap goes really well. Masa is low, but he's always got disengage, and he's already off to a really smooth start. Double null up for a little bit of regen, stats up as well. There is a rotation mid from Carlo, but again, it's a level 2 clock. Like, how do you lock in a quad in that rotation? It's just not the same impact as Q right now.
Very hard as bot lane. Bit of a jump onto Kimizu, but he's feeling very confident right now on the Timber. Level 4 marks are very, very tanky, but you've still got to be careful because Jackie got that crit up. But again, the Earth Spike off Kimizu. Have you gone too far? Not quite. He's got the stick charges. Back Boom Bowie now. Eventually going to be caught out here by Carlo. Should be the kill of the game for Carlo, unless Bowie can make some magic happen. And he does. Earth Spike can just walk away. Carlo, he cannot catch break. Vincenzo, he's found Q now. He'll be okay, Q, not gonna pressure too hard.
And that was particularly good timing from Boom Boy Mike. His courier was coming in with boots. Came in right as he broke the cogs, walked out, had his stick up. The charges were enough to kind of make him live through the bump back on cogs, and he can't even kill off the full line. So Execration still not finding a grip on this game yet. As Boom Boy walked back, he can TP mid, refill bottle. Gotcha Boy has 6. They've got the Sonic Wave if they want to play here.
We're gonna jump in onto Bob, trying to get through the flame guard. Boom Bowie though, unable to get close enough. Land a stun on the Ember. We'll start chipping away towards the north. They've got Carlo now on that clockwork. Slow is there for Q. After he'll commit the Sonic Wave. Why the hell not? Make sure they get the kill. Get that spell on cooldown. That'll be the 4th kill of the game so far for Motivate. Execration have yet to find one themselves.
It's just the aggression. It's not coming out. Like, he could be aggressive with a Grimstroke and Fox support duo. I don't think they have the best anchors to play around. I think Bob is probably your best bet. Maybe if you get the Grimstroke spot, you can play with Kimizu as well, but he doesn't have any value points in the chain. So you can even leverage that chain in with the Inkswell on top of you. They will try now. He shows himself there.
Inkswell's down, Kimizu. He's thinking about diving, but the stun won't land. Jackie now, he pops the skeletons out. Boom. Kimizu is dropping quite low now. He does have to be a little bit worried as Nando top lane ends up going down to Masaros, and now Kimizu is still being chased down. He will eventually be left alone. They had to rotate enough support down just to make sure he survives. Like I said, John, in the meantime, while all that was happening, Nando was left alone top lane, ends up dropping the second time so far in this game. Then it's like the second game in a row. Every lane's just gone the way. Motivate Trust, they try to make them onto Jackie now, they might get something. But he's got the reincarnate up. He's got time for a secondary life. If Q's gonna rotate in, they might find a pocket Q. And they will Carlo, he's gone. In fact, roll forward. They've got Vincenzo. They're completely ignoring this Timber Saw. Now they'll turn right back around, but it won't matter. They won't bother with the Timber. They got what they came for.
It's already a massive set of wins coming out here for Motivate Trust. Forcing the tri-lane bot, opening up the top lane, Masa to just run around. And this is worrying. Masa's level 6, Nafa's got a value point range, level 2 now. But you can't sustain yourself against this Darkseer anymore. Triple Nulla, mana regen through the roof, long Dark. Iron Shot level 3, there's just a lot of presence here.
Oh, gotcha. Able to take the kill there onto Vincenzo as Q. Gonna drop at the very least. So Bob, he gets something. Onto Gun, he goes. No lockdown, but it won't matter because he's got plenty of damage. Bob able to pick up the double. Considering the laning pace he's had, he desperately needs that XP and gold. Be very happy about the kill on Chiffon.
An important kill for Gamer. Again, for Execration here, Mike, it does feel like Bob's going to be taking that playmaking role here. He has to be super active on the Ember. They have to play around with the hook shot. Once it's up on Carlo, your follow-up will be the Ember. They can play it with Inkswell as well. And with the phase boots up, Bob can hit pretty hard. So let's see if they can find something here in the jungle with the smoke.
They're going to find Jackie. He's got no reincarnate at the moment. Inkswell not going to land, but they've got the chains down. They should have plenty of damage with Bob around. The spamming those line of this out. Revan forward. He's going to be there to try and save the day, but it's not enough.
Radiant structures
Gets to be able to slide a fist. He dropped the first time this game. Meantime, Motivate Trust will push down the top tier 1 tower, but I'm sure they're not too happy with their carry dying.
To Radiant's bottom
The big kill for Execration. Find it. You and I were having that conversation, Mike. We wanted Execration to pressure Jackie more, and they are. Jackie's off to a bit of a slower start. His farm is behind Bob's right now, so it's good news for Execration. They do trade tower top. Looks like they have taken bot, so it's going to be an even trade so far. Kimizu has to kind of watch himself. You don't have that Hood of Defiance yet on the Tim, so double Iron Shell, it's still going to be a lot of damage onto that Timber Saw.
You can ignore him. Instead, they've got vision on the supports. They're all right in with a great man this time. Boulder smash out from Q. You couldn't ask for much more for Motivate. So easy. Picking off those 2 supports, and now Kimizu, he's not feeling too safe himself. Again, you've got the double Iron Shells, but you've also got Garcha Boy with that Sonic Wave up. They can make the jump in on the Timber. It should be an easy enough kill, and now Kimizu, he does show himself. They move in, Silence is there, Boulder smash out. Do they have enough though? He's still alive, but in the end, Sonic Wave's there. Bob, something for his team. Masaroff. So eventually he's going to wear out the hook shot there from Carlo. He's landed off the Garcha Boy, but they're not dead yet. In fact, the Earth spikes out, boom, booey. He locks them down, a bomb's going to drop. Oh, he's stuck now, Dire Straits. He'll be the second to go down. But there's just nothing they can do about it. They just get nothing done in this top lane. Motivate, they're cleaning up everything.
You have to appreciate Motivate Trust's counterplay there. Like, Masa turns around, gets the vac into the cogs, and kind of forces back the cogs as well. So, Gotcha Boy's not stuck inside. He blinks out. He gets pushed back by the cogs, creating more distance, and just all lines up for Motivate Trust. That was Execration's reveal of the level 6 on our Clockwork, Mike. And we talked about progression. Execration has to play with the mobility on the Ember and Clock, and they did attempt it. It's just, it just doesn't feel like they're taking the proper angles. They're diving really deep. They're not finding big targets. They want napping. They might lose more.
Yeah, Vincenzo again being called out. Q just so active so far at Masaros. He didn't have the vacuum up. 1 second off cooldown is now Carster's going to try and punish Q with the battery assault. Should really be no way out, but he will boulder smash away. Bob's pushback is there. Roll's going to be popped up by Bob. Q will eventually go down. Bob able to pick up the kill. Quite faster off. Again, as the Execration right now, you're looking for pretty much any kill you can get.
Yeah, they're just looking to build up on the Ember Spirit, build momentum in that hero, keep taking that on whatever you can find that you have with hookshot and the mobility on the Ember. They're going to keep the aggression up. I do worry about leaving Jack Boys alone, farming. Like, sure, Nando right now is keeping up pace on the Life Stealer, but Wraith King does farm a lot faster with the Skeletons out. So Jack Boys might be able to leverage that lead. He is farming into the Desolator as well, and once that's up, we know Jackie loves to play aggressive with his team once he has that minus armor running. So we'll see if that's something that Execration can continue to pressure at Wraith King, but there are smokes out from both teams now.
Nice smoke though towards Azeroth. You love getting that done. Now just to slow down that Axe army. The hook shot and the Inkswell there should be pretty easy for Execration. They'll get it. Giving quite a bit of gold away there to Bob.
Nando?
Get it. Oh, Nando, that's not the trade you want. They might just lose it when they do. Gotcha Boy has the Orchid up now. The rage was not there in time. I thought kill on Masteros, great use for Execration, but then they end up losing Nando to the other side of the map. It doesn't look so great anymore.
Yeah, it's a kill for Bob to find, but Nando again, the Life Stealer just doesn't win that farm war.
And now Kimizu jumps in, but he gets orchided immediately. So the Silence will wear out at the end. Sunblade did it, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Everyone survives, but Vincenzo now gets jumped by Gotcha Boy. Another kill to go the way of the Quap. This Bob is still trying to chip away at Motivate Trust with these front fists. Won't he be able to fully commit and secure a kill? To Motivate, he still gets something for their commit.
They find a support kill. They're building up their lead and Motivate Trust though, Mike, with every single kill. 14-5, 3K lead their way. Gotcha Boy again, #1, setting the pace here for Motivate Trust, just really leveraging that Orchid, the very high standard. And it's just down to angles you have to fight. For Execration, their support initiation, hook shot, it's a ultimate. You know, it has a longer cooldown than the roll from Q's, and Motivate Trust can keep jumping in with your Earth Spirit every single time. They don't have to wait a minute between gank. Whereas Execration might have to take this more... It's not a slow tempo, it's something that they have to wait for every single time. They need time to reset, get a shot back up, get the angles going, and it just allows Motivate Trust to run this map a lot faster. So I think Execration, we talked a little bit of Life Stealer as well in that factor. They haven't been able to play with the Infest. They do have the armlet up on Nando, but that might not be enough. Just looking to work towards Sanj first. Maybe by then you can kind of play with the Infest plays and just hook shot forward, have the Ember jump on top. You have to kind of get that space going now. They are going to push in mid. Motivate Trust are in position to defend though.
Use Kimizu as bait, but there is going to be the rotation out from Motivate. If they want to aim first, they'll try onto Kimizu. Kimizu's so good. Trying to tank through all this massive damage. Solban is there. Back Kimizu. He's getting low, but no, he does go down. Gotcha Boy able to pick him up the box. He's cleaning up the supports. Both Q and Boom Boy gone. They even got the reincarnated of Jackie. But Gotcha gonna be careful as Nando. He wants to keep the fight up. In the end, you lost your offlane, but you've got 2 supports to the trade. It doesn't really seem too bad overall for Execration.
Not worst. It allows them to, again, build up in Bob. They're getting their simple factor in with the Ember. The Maelstrom's not too far off, and we talked about that in the last game, Mike, where Ember Spirit has this early timing with Orb of Corrosion, with Phase Boost and Maelstrom, even just a Javelin. It's nice. Bob can kind of leverage that physical output at this moment, and as long as Bob's ready to go, you do have some play here on Execution's side. It's a slower go for the rest of the heroes. And Kimizu still lagging a bit behind that Tim. They kind of need to have the Timber Saw just be able to shove in a lane and force a response out and Motivate Trust, because it's not happening. They can just smoke up.
Gotcha, he backs off at just the right moment as Carl is way off mark for the hook shot. Nothing in from Execration. They want to try and fight this one out. Carlo is still flying. They're trying to go off the Kunstroke instead. Vincenzo, no, he's not good. Gotcha. He's going to be able to finish the job off as now Bomb is being targeted for Q. Unable to get the silence off in time. Now Gotcha, he's been chained up, but not quite enough damage yet to finish the Queen of Pain. To the north, Nando now does at least pick up Boom Boy. Jackie wants this. He wants that Life Stealer and they've got him. Double bumpers out. Committed. Nando, however, he does pick up the urn. Still the fight continues here on the Masteros, but it doesn't seem like they have enough Q. He's not done yet. This Earth Spirit, he just keeps going for his team. Q has just been so aggressive this game. Motivate. Even if Execration are having a better game than last time around, they have not slowed down.
It's just back to that is time, right? Red Spirit just can roll and roll and roll as long as the rocks are available. A Clockwork only gets one. You have to wait a minute and reset in that minute to look for the aggression, whereas Motivate Trust can keep running and gunning. You have this item spike up on Moss now, Mike. Agged is up. Iron Shell with plus 275 HP, so minor healing coming through. More Iron Shell spam coming through, more damage at this point. It's a very scary time for Execration. They have to watch that aggression as Motivate Trust are still ready to go.
It looks like they're ready for the smoke. Execration. Maybe have a bit of what's going on. The scan is there. He's going to be out there. Great way to start. If they can take him down. Cox push back. He'll barely get a double. He's also dropped on the Emperor. Now, Nando's kind of stuck with just so many heroes surrounding him. They don't have Jackie around to help out. They may not need it. With all this iron shot damage from Matsuros, they'll carry to Kizu. Execration, it was such a great start. It ends up dying on the end button. It just ends up being a trade in the end.
Yeah, and you win out on Motivate Trust. Like, even though you trade your mids, you found another support. You're still building up here on your key heroes. The ag spamming of Masa again very early here. You can just focus in now onto Blink, maybe Guardian Greed if you want to sustain. The team fights are lining up really nicely to Motivate Trust, whereas for Execration, this is it's just a lot slower from Kimizu. Like, we need our Timbersaw to be that front line. We need him to be able to just take the purple lane and put it down.
Carlo, very far forward here on this clockwork, but it looks like he actually juked him out. Gotcha, he did not seem to, so he's lost him. Carlo, he's out of it. That's fine.
You can't his lucky stars. I think they expected him to hook away. You're like, all right, he's probably way gone now, maybe back at the quick wave, and is safe. They are still putting presence out, though. I think Q might be able to just figure out that someone there's still no backup for our Earth, so Arlo's going to play a bit greedier. And the lead is still big for Motivate Trust, Mike. 7k up. I mean, you are seeing farm issues of Lifestealer versus Raid King. It's not a huge gap, but Jack Boyce definitely has a nice lead, and even Monsters is keeping up nicely as well on his perks here. He has a lot of gold in the bank and could go for the fast mech or the blink straight up. Looks like he's going to bank it. It's just there you go. Blink up, so Darkseer can just blink that. Again, that just simplifies the initiation for Motivate Trust. Earth Spike follow-up, Boulder Smash follow-up, everything's there now for Motivate Trust.
Oh, absolutely. This team's only getting worse for Execration, especially with Darkseer having such early blink timing. Carlo, at least, is going to be in position to try and tank the gank, but instead they found Vincenzo, and that's the target they look to get started on. Azeroth will claim that kill with the iron. They want a bit more. Q, he's been on fire so far in this Earth Spirit target. Then Garcha, he's going to find it's the Orchid off. It's going to run right into Carlo. Masso's around to try and help out. The kick away on the clock and the roll right back out of now Carlo. He's out of position. Hook shot away. Is it going to be enough? It will be. They do have the Sonic Wave. They are unwilling to commit just on the clockwork, but instead now they found with the double substance out. This time around they'll find him. There's your Sonic Wave there from Garcha, Carlo, and Nando now. They just need to run because Garcha, he's still having a look around. He won't commit, but you'd be happy with that bomb pick off anyway. So head right into that mid-tier one and just take even more from Execration.
I'm a bit surprised that the mid-tier one is still standing from Execration. I didn't realize Motivate Trust hadn't really focused on the chest, but compared to the last game where they took all the tier 1s early on. This opens up Roshan if they want to go. This is a wrap. Rosh timing anyway with the Desolator up, but Motivate Trust just wants to keep the aggression. They smoke up again. Execration. No hook shot for a few seconds. Gonna be a bit scary for them. Lost control of their jungle, but they have wards at least the spot out, and they will manage to get Nando out in time, so can't lose anything more here.
Now fast he melts with these iron shells, and well, they're all right back in now with the Spirit Vessel out, and you look at that damage, John. Just have a look at that damage. 3 iron shells there with Garcha Boy Q and Azeroth. It is not to fight into that.
No. You have good points, it's just not enough, and for the most part he gets chain stunned, so he can't even get the barrier up and on some of it. Into the Roche they go. There is a hook shot ready to go on Carlo. He tries to make a brave play, but that Roche melts way too fast with the Mind's armor and the iron shells from the field.
Still got time. Another rocket for just a second, but no, he's just a tad too late. Now he's out of position. Carlo, the roll, but Jack boys right on top. Get the job done. No
Radiant's top
problem.
tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
24 to 9 now, 11k net worth advantage. Aegis up on Motivate Trust. I gotta ask John, how does Execration come back into this game? I tell you, the last few teams that we've been watching just have not gone their way.
Radiant's
They
bottom
need
tower is
to
under attack.
use some of the wards they have. They have some aggressive vision. They need to get a jump in, and they need to commit like 3 heroes. So,
Wow. Oh, just Q is too aggressive in this game. I mean, this is just not fair. This Earth Spirit, it's too much. Dimitri goes down as well. This is the Earth Spirit team right here, Jonathan. You've got a team farmed up and you can actually do something with it. It's amazing.
yeah. I mean, everyone's just ready to go and motivate trust. Again, there's no need for resets here. Their biggest ult is to wait for is really what? Magnetize, maybe reincarnation if you're level 18 now. That's not a long cooldown as well. And just keep running and gunning. The Sonic Wave just feels like a bonus at this point from Gotcha Boy. It doesn't even feel necessary with the jumps. And Execration, they're losing a lot of map space. Back to what you asked me, like, what does Execration need to do? They need to play as at least... Actually, they need all core to actually play around, right? Play with that mobility. Play with the Ember Spirit's ability to jump in. Play with the Infest on Nando, onto the Timber, onto the Ember, or the Clockwork. And just try to isolate someone in the backline, get an easy kill, get the numbers up, and run down. I think your best target might be maybe Maso or Gotcha Boy. Like, you might be able to handle them, but they're so tanky. I don't know if they have the stamina to even make that kind of play work, but that's what their lineup's geared for. So you would hope that you could at least take care of one of the cores when you have that jump in.
And Gotcha is so tanky and so ballsy, really. He's already got Vincenzo and they've already got Carlos. He just blinks into the high ground. No regard for human life whatsoever. You kind of said they may be able to come after Gotcha. I don't think they can kill Gotcha Boy right now. I don't think...
Yeah, he's just weak. He even has the PB for protection anyway, so the magical burst up front. Line up and just go again.
Look at the roll. The rocket out, the roll in. The armor foggles are there, but Nando, he cannot sustain himself. Motivate Trust. Like everyone plays has been speedrunning games apparently.
Some bad things happen. Dire's
Been barracks at the 24.5 minute mark. Execration. You do have some decent high ground defense there with Bob and Vincenzo. The problem is it's just been such aggressive plays from Motivate. They do find Jackie. Get one life, they'll try for a second here with the hook shot. The concept, but Jackie will happily oblige the team club. Right back in onto Carlo. They've even got Gotcha Boy there. They'll get another kill for themselves. Is a fair trade to me, John. Reincarnation for a clockwork kill.
Nice win coming out for Motivated Trust, and you know, if you're having a good Earth Spirit game, when you've got that BKB up, Q is just ready to keep diving in. Nothing to stop our Earth Spirit. And Execration, they can't get Mega Creep yet. You know, they've got the bot tier 1 to protect them. Top is kind of open for Motivated Trust if you want to play here, and they still have a minute and a half in the Aegis, so you can look for that opportunity. We'll see. You're still camping around mid, maybe looking for a straggler to pop out first.
Waiting. That mid lane, Nando. They've got him again. Not again. Not. No. Onto the high ground they go. Top tier 3 tower. Easy people to motivate. Of course, Nando has the buyback available. We are only 26 minutes in. You don't quite expect the high ground to come. That'll be a second lane of barracks here to motivate Trust unless Execration find a way to slow this down. It's not looking very good. I'll tell you. Jackie, he's got the reincarnation, but he's already rolling in front of the target. He won't quite be able to get bombed this time around, but they've got the top rack. That's really what they want.
They clean up. 2 lanes of super creeps coming up and make it blocks up for Execration to play that defense. And again, Mega Creep still blocked off. Bot tier 1 still stands, but this allows Motivate Trust to just sit control your entire map. Top jungle's opened up for them, triangle's opened up. They've got the offensive wards to back up as well, Mike. And for Execration, this game is just really tough. I don't think their high ground defense is particularly strong as well. It's not like they've got Black Hole, it's not like they've got Rev or Arena, and we need to kind of lock people down in tight spots. So the pickoff block.
You right in again on the Timber. He can't survive through this, or maybe he can. He's got the Lotus Orb out. They do get the silence in the end. Like he's there, lock him down, take him out. Kimitsu's gone. Hook shot out from Carlo and Nando. They do at least get through the point. The Jackie, he's absolutely obliged. He's already got Carlo down. Nando gets himself out, luckily with the TP. There's still even more supply back there from Senso. Motivate, they're not looking to slow down at all. The bot tier 1 be gone. They're on to the tier 2, I'm sure, very, very soon. You might just go high ground again.
Yeah. You don't have Aegis and Norn God Boy, it doesn't really matter. Jack Boys is doing the frontline work anyway. They have the Satanic finished up on Nando. That means, again, he doesn't have buyback.
Dire's bottom tower
The Satanic has to give him some, it should allow him to stand up and fight a little bit longer, maybe stall out the fight by having a lot of regen on hand. I just don't know if the follow-up's there for that sustain on the light sword. The burst damage just doesn't feel like it's enough. And you know, for most of these fights, Mike, we actually haven't seen the big vac walls from Masa. It's just been pick-off games from Motivate Trust, but they still have that big team fight tool for the high ground fights as well. The vac wall into Earth Spike, into the Boulder Smash, into the Magnetize. There's still a lot that Motivate Trust can do, even if the pick-off game starts to slow down a bit, which I don't see is coming true. Execration, they're gonna go for a split play here. Again, no buyback on Nando with that Satanic on
That has been caught up, but he's got a PKB up. He's more than happy to fight. Nando will pop the rage and try. Meanwhile, Garcha, we got Garcha don't increase a little bit. He fights her. He's gonna take down, but they do end up fighting Vincenzo, and they'll go for more. Vincenzo was big on as well. And Nando, no problem. He's popping Satanic though. They're gonna try, but they can't. Nando, barely gonna get out of this attack. Can't say the same for Carlo though. Up. He's gonna be fine. You see that shot, Garcha, he literally started hitting in the middle of that team fight.
Just be efficient, Mike. You know, as a core player, you got to be very efficient on the map. Goals where you can, even mid-team fight. It's always on your mind. God, the boy showing us how confident he is that he's got to clear out the three wave to come back in. Support in the core, not too bad for Execration, right? So even though these kills aren't massive, Lion, not the big tier still off, you are still here in Execration. So you manage to save Anando, he backs off, starts saving up for buyback, now just about 500 gold away. So you should have that ready for the next team fight, but your options are just growing smaller and smaller. Push, we're going to see its respawn in a bit, and it is a longer timer to the benefit of Execration. 3 minutes, or around 2 minutes 55 seconds there. So one longer, one fortunate since there's a DD down bot, Mike. Tradition has been broken. No instant roach for that, but I think Motivate Trust really cares.
Man, you've got a team fight. I think the Roshan right now. Nando's already popped the rage. Holt's been caught out. They've got the hex up. Just got so much control. Motivate Trust. They'll go for more now. Is he okay? If the trophy is the vacuum's out into the four-man Sonic Wave from Garcha boy. They're just cleaning up. The room out, John. It's a complete sweep here from Motivate Trust. They found the last piece of the puzzle. What a vacuum wall. Sonic Wave out from Motivate. Pause now. DG?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I was waiting for the call, John.
Oh, yeah. It was just so clean for Motivate, right? Like, they maybe got off to a slower start in laning, you know, not as aggressive as game one, where we're seeing a lot of movement out from Mirana, from the combination of the Ember Spirit this time around. It's the Lions, and I think...
Fearless, what are you doing? My goodness. My goodness. Fearless. He's afraid of interviews, but he does this, John. First day of the DPC.
You know, he's been up to a lot of shenanigans since Mineski Masters, but I'm glad to see it from Fearless, showing us why he's Fearless and why he's Gotcha Boy. You never know what to expect when you